But yeah. Thoughts from anyone?
Well, I will say, I know I'm partially to blame, but I didn't expect it to go on this long.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm like I don't want to like leave early ever because like you guys always give me crap when I'm not here for 75 hours and I haven't been on forever, so I was like I don't like let me tough it out because I'm guessing we haven't even gotten to the real topic yet, right? Given our the theme of the Walky Talky podcast,
well,
we're
the
just now about
of the
to
stream is Attack on Titan: The Last Attack makes no sense.
Oh God, there's no way. You're not serious. I hate you guys. All right.
It's only been an hour.
First off, what Attack on Titan? What the last? You mean like the last season or whatever type shit?
No,
basically.
Movie. Is that what you're talking about?
The movie that came out?
Yeah, it's the last season.
There's a movie.
Yeah. It's not a movie. It's just a compilation.
Like is it like an OVA or something?
Kind of. It's a recap episode if that's how you want to see it.
Basically gives people like the what happens next type shit deal.
No. They didn't do anything like that.
Oh, really?
It was just they showed the finale special in theaters. That's all it was.
I don't like that. That feels very lazy.
And I wouldn't like. And the thing is, they only showed it like in select theaters, so the closest theater was like over an hour away. I'm like, I ain't traveling for that.
Over the course of multiple days. You could have made it. You know what, Camcam?
No. Okay, and then after the first day it was showing, the next theater, because it wasn't showing in that theater anymore because it was a 1 day thing. So the next theater that was showing was even further away.
You know, Camcam, all relationships are messy.
So like, if you would have paid for my Uber.
And
I would have gone.
It's about the devotion and willingness.
1 day.
How do you pay for your Uber?
You gotta make it work, Cam.
Hold up. It's Black History Month, and Ood Coon's my cousin.
So okay. So based on Camcam standards, Attack on Titan doesn't exist to her anymore.
Look, I'm not in a committed long-term relationship with Attack on Titan, okay? I just like to watch it.
You couldn't make it work, okay? So it's over.
It wasn't in the budget. It wasn't in the budget to travel over an hour away. Like, I don't even go watch. I haven't been to the movie theaters since probably 2017 or 2018.
Damn.
So what you're saying is Attack on Titan is dead to you?
What I'm saying is movie theaters are dead and too expensive.
Movie theaters aren't expensive. The tickets are like $8 to $20 depending on what time you go.
Funny, I've never seen it go that much. Are you
exactly? Exactly.
I don't know. I just think it's too expensive. I'm not going. Like, I'll wait to rent it at home.
I like how you say rent as if you aren't just gonna watch it for free on certain sites.
Okay.
I watch movies in theaters now. I used to like stream them illegally, but now I don't anymore. I don't know. It's just something about the theater. It's nice.
I like going to the theater.
It's an experience.
Yeah. I don't
pay for those super expensive popcorns.
No,
that we don't need.
Yeah, Camcam, who likes seeing things with surround sound and big screens?
Look, it gives me a headache.
Okay, that's fair.
I get migraines. So, like, it's so loud. There's tons of like, oh my God, especially watching, like, action movies. There's, like, the explosion noises. I'm like, yo, I gotta get out of here. This is making my anxiety bad.
Some of them are a little bit much.
They're so, and then your whole seat is vibrating. And then, like, especially, I have to sit up at the top. Because then if you're sitting, like, real close to the screen, forget it. It's game over for me. Can't handle it.
I mean, maybe you watched a 4D movie and didn't realize it, but to be fair, Camcam, some movies can be louder than others. When I was watching Smile 2, I had to plug my ears the whole way through just to get it to a normal volume, but to be fair, I did do that, and it was normal volume, and I thoroughly enjoyed my Smile 2 experience in theaters.
You have to do it the whole time? I thought it was just a music video.
No, it was the whole time. It was loud.
Oh, no. That sounds terrible.
Like
I would leave.
The movie theater itself making an error.
No, I think it was. I think it was that specific theater,
yeah. But no. Like I said, the last time I went to the movie theaters was to watch My Neighbor Totoro, because it's the anniversary edition.
Cool.
and that was great.
My neighbor Totoro or Kotaro?
Totoro, right?
Darn it. Because I was hoping it was Kotaro because there was an anime I watched on Netflix called My Neighbor Kotaro. It was about this kid who basically lived, by himself because his parents.
I love that show. Yeah,
Camcam
so
told me about
good.
that actually. Yeah.
Dude, I love that so much. Me and my wife watched. It made me want to have a son. That and Spy Family.
Oh, do you know the gender?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a boy. At least for now.
Oh my
It's
god!
2025 and shit, so things could change, and I'm cool with whatever.
Okay, like
This
God.
That's so
This is the-
exciting. Oh, I forgot to tell you congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm sorry I've been so like awful as a friend. I'm not pulling a trippy. I'm just busy.
Well,
I
yeah,
didn't
you've
forget
already
about you guys.
proven-
I love you guys.
Okay.
You're better than
I
Trippy.
think this is
But I have a-
all the evidence we need for a proper segue to something, Kamui.
Oh no.
I don't know if this is what you had in mind anymore. Well, okay. I think now you're going to segue to something else. But I have a segue that's going to throw you for a loop.
Oh.
So he mentioned how the anime made him want to have a baby, and it was all lovey-dovey. So I was wondering, King of Chaos, did you know that the reason Sarada and Sasuke love each other is because of Sarada? That's the reason Sasuke and Sarada love each other.
Sasuke and Sakura, yeah, because she exists.
It's
Yeah,
because of
proof.
Sarada. That's the only reason they love each other, because of Sarada. Did you
No,
know
he said
that?
that's the proof. No, they said proof. They didn't say reason.
the
No.
reason.
No. It's
Who said that?
Well, wait. Chaos.
Sasuke.
Are you arguing with Jonathan Oliver right now?
No. Am I what?
Well, I mean, Oodie,
Have you seen chat in our server?
Oh no, what's happening?
Showing
I'm in the middle of
us
a
the proof in
match
the
right
Discord server.
now. So.
Oh, I already got it, Kamui. I posted it in the group chat that we're in right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, King of Chaos. I mean, like, the proof is right there.
All right, let me keep that proof then.
Yeah. So, are you saying that you're not thinking deeply about it, Guga?
Me?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you might be stuck on the surface level with your shallow thinking.
Sarada is the reason they love each other.
Chaos, have you taken any college level philosophy classes at all?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, so he's the expert here.
You know, King
So
of
I
Chaos,
think we should take his opinion.
I think you need to calm
answer his own
down,
surface
King of
level
Chaos.
question. I literally answer your question many times. Oh, who is this? Boruto most valuable MC. Oh my. Wow.
He's trash.
Okay. Oh wow. He sounds intense. Let's see what he's talking about. Okay.
Well, I think
he's
the problem is that you don't understand him because you haven't read a meditation book of which he linked.
Huh?
Well,
Which
yeah.
one?
Earlier Ultra was clearly thinking too shallow, and so Boruto MVP he linked a meditation book so Ultra can understand the complexities of Boruto.
Oh, interesting. What? I'm just confused. What does that have to do with anything?
So, okay, I was reading this earlier today, Kamui, some of this that they were saying. I was dying laughing at Ultra's and Draco's responses. They were just not having it, bro. Like, it is such a fine line to where it was enough to where they weren't blocking him and willing to engage, but not enough to put up with any of his BS.
Is he new to the server?
No, he's been here for a while.
He sounds like a troll.
Yeah, so, okay.
We don't know.
He says, "This is not the point, man. Stop being in surface level of thinking. Read René Descartes' meditation, and after that, talk to me."
He's been in the server since September. He has not been this active since September.
Oh, he must.
Correct.
Apparently, he's been waiting.
So in response to what he said, Draco said, "You bringing up some random meditation book no one cares about doesn't make you look better." And then he went on to say, "No, you need to read a meditation book, something that has nothing to do with fictional analysis to understand him." He's being sarcastic, clearly.
You guys got some interesting cats in your server.
It is great. Oh, he's
Well,
talking
Boruto-
right now. Is he in the? Is he in this,
NBC.
listening right now or something?
I'm literally.
Oh, you're
Well,
okay,
Boruto
never mind.
NBC. I do think Boruto's a Giga Chad, but right now your IQ is appearing surface level to me. I need you to explain your reasoning.
So my favorite part, the part where I had to
I'm
stop because I
currently
literally
trying to-
I dropped my phone when he wrote this. So first of all, he's clearly not English, and so like language barrier, I can't make fun of him for that. He's at least trying to a certain extent, anyways. There's a lot where he's not trying on, but so I don't know the context here. I don't remember, but he says, so if Sasuke left the village, his decision to leave was to be against his values with Sakura and his family. Yes and no. Think inside the box. Be interracial into the why. I told many times that Drago, you are too much focusing on the surface level. So I think he meant think outside the box, and he typed think inside the box. I dropped my phone laughing. That's how much I like. To be fair, I was already getting in the chuckly mood having read up to this point. I couldn't contain myself. I couldn't read past that. Think inside the box. I lost it.
That is some interesting.
I commented on that. I was like, inside the box. So you would.
What about outside of it?
Yeah. So okay. So I think you already know, Kamui, why I'm gonna write this into pinned messages.
Uh-oh.
I do.
Okay.
I've been trying to get him to answer a question like all day.
I know.
I'm still going right now.
I
As
know,
we speak. I keep copying and pasting the same message. I'm like, can you just answer this so I can continue? He keeps saying, like, get to your point. I'm like, I need you to answer this so I can get to the point. Whichever he answers, I have a thing planned. I just want to know which one to do.
See, and Space is talking about like the original Obito debate that he and Draco had. I still haven't read that. I need to go back and I need to read whatever nonsense he wrote there too. He's been so fun to just interact with these past couple weeks.
He has not been fun for me. I don't find any of this fun. Okay, just to be clear.
Okay.
They're arguing on Discord and on stream. Epic multitasking.
Well,
9-minute warning for King of Chaos. I'm an old man. I know. I'm sorry. But I have a baby mama to take care of. So you guys got 9 more minutes of me. Are we going to talk about that damn Attack on Titan episode? Or is it just going to be the typical Walky Talky?
You know, I'm glad you said that
There's
because
a bunch of yappers.
I had the perfect
At this
segue
point,
from Camcam's
I
thing.
love
Well, if
these guys.
Camcam's not having fun, let's make sure Camcam's having fun by talking what she wants to talk about, some Attack on
What do I
Titan.
wanna- What do I what?
I was
Rob
gonna
him,
say at this
Camcam.
point, should we just do intro topics until he leaves? Like, we're not gonna get through any Attack on Titan things.
We can at
really,
least
are
get
we?
this
Why don't we
idea
never
on
start
the
at the beginning of the
initial
time?
conversation. Okay, you know what? Okay, we'll do that. So give me like your 3-minute warning, and then we'll transition to Attack on Titan so we can get your initial thoughts on the first thing, and before we discuss it.
Okay, bet. Well,
Okay,
we got 8 minutes of me. Well, shoot, man. It seems like you guys have been doing good. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, I know I've been a little MIA, and we definitely got to talk Boruto because I was a little, I don't know, these last 2 chapters, they're all right. You know, they weren't like, I wouldn't bet the family farm on them. They were pretty good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Camcam, what did you think of the latest 2 chapters?
I dropped Boruto after like chapter 17. No, not 17. I opened chapter 17 to see the cover. After chapter 8.
So yeah.
Chapter
Blue
17
Vortex.
was the Goofy Matsuri pose, right?
Yeah.
You know, okay. Let's ask Camcam that
What
as
did
well.
you think about that?
Which part? Like just the chapter in general?
Chapter cover. Just
Oh, the
for
chapter
pose.
cover.
So
I don't know. It just seems awkward, kind of oblong.
well, on that chapter cover, King of Chaos, looking at my screen, who did it better?
I will say, you took a horrible screenshot of me.
You gotta say that every time. Kami, I like how you say that,
Yeah,
even though I'm half cut off in this. What do you mean?
Dude, you see me grimacing at
You
how
did it pretty good.
terrible this is on
Wait,
TV.
is that you? Is that you, Kamui?
Yes,
Oh,
sort of.
Really?
I know it's
On the
hard to
right-hand
tell him
side?
and Matsuri apart, but yeah, that's
No,
it.
on the right hand side. Shut up. The other guy doing the pose. But nah, I think Oodie did it great.
Let's go!
I think he did
Everyone's
perfect.
in
I think he
agreement.
killed it. He definitely
Yeah,
I
ate
was
with
really
zero
trying to
crumbs.
mimic But see, Oodie doesn't have his leg like doing the weird ass break your knee thing, which I was trying to do with my left leg.
Kamui, the sad
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, I
Yeah, but
genuinely
he got
think
that
you did it
hip
better.
motion. You know, Oodie got that hip
Yeah.
out. You know.
Yeah, the ladies know how to do that. My baby sister-in-law. One time she was posing for a picture with like her sisters and my wife, and she's like, my wife pointed out, she's like, dude, this girl is sticking her butt out all the way, doing the stupid pose just so she can like pretend she's got a giant butt. I'm like, honey, all girls stand like that. She's like, no, it's not. It's a thing they do when they're trying to like stick out their butts. And I'm like, oh. So like I feel like that's what they had going on there. But like she ain't that like, I don't know. I don't find Matsuri that like good looking. I don't know. Maybe
She ain't all that in a bag of chips. You know.
Maybe it's the hair.
You know someone who does.
It's the hair for me.
It's just
it's
Ikimoto
probably
drawing
me.
the stupid white claw mark dots to show her curvature as much as possible. That's really the only reason anybody cares.
Oh my
Damn.
god, that's hilarious. Yeah, you're right.
No, oh god, I didn't even notice that. All right, I'm ditching you nerds now. Gotta go be a baby daddy. You know how that goes.
Right.
Love
Bye.
But luckily, I
Thanks
got
for
a Steam
joining
Deck.
us.
Hey, this will not be. I promise I won't take 30 fucking years next time to collab with y'all. I've missed you guys, really. Thanks for understanding. Like, I've missed you guys so much. So,
No, we missed you.
Bet.
I like how
All
you're
right, well-
apologizing so profusely from not being here for like a month and a half or something.
Oh, it's been way longer.
It's
like
not
2
been
months.
that. Like, yes, I'm
don't have-
exaggerating, but you get the idea.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
Well, y'all stay up. Everyone subscribe to the Walky Talky podcast for more. Ooh, change your Twitter bio or whatever, like Twitter picture to that pose. I think it'd be perfect.
You should.
That's hilarious.
All right, peace, gang.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
I like how he said subscribe to the Walky Talky podcast as if we aren't the ones live on the Walky Talky channel as he's being guest, as if we're not supposed to do what he did to us to him. You're reversed to there, so.
Anyways, that was King Chaos. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
Let me just do that for him. Let me just shout him out.
You stick around long enough to hear us do it. Now I feel bad. I will put his channel in the pinned comment, even though it's already in the description. So, chat, all that, and there you go. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yo, Boris was cracking me up.
We got a lot of people in here. I did, before we get on to Attack on Titan, assuming we're still streaming at all, we can stop here if we want to do. But without, and we'll just...
I think ChatGPT is trying to give Mr. Spiraling way too much hope. I don't know why. And why did you tell Mr. Spiraling to do this?
No,
I was curious
bro.
about it.
You just
Why
did
did
it.
Mr. Spiraling? You're probably asleep, but why did you do this?
He did
This
a
was
lot
my
of
other
other
question.
stuff as well, not just this. Like
This is my question to Mr. Spiraling.
the
Did you
noodles
have nothing
thing.
to do today? Why did you do this?
Yeah, like he randomly did the noodles thing too. Like it wasn't just messaging here. He like DM'd noodles. Saying that
Yeah,
wanted
and
to
I was
debate.
like, why would
Okay.
I care if Oodie
Why?
debated noodles?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't really care. And he's like, oh, dude, you so care. Like I could tell. Like, oh, you're just trying to hide it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can invite him on the podcast if you want. But...
this can be specified to you, not just like for the whole podcast. So it's like,
No.
Call me. You're not allowed to even talk to noodles. Okay, you
Yeah,
have to have
like,
your
I'm not even a part
your
of this
mute,
stream,
your mic
apparently.
muted.
Yeah, for some reason, he was like, yeah, Camcam might not know noodles, but Kamui obviously does. I'm like,
I know noodles. I used to. Okay, in 2020 when I had nothing else
Like,
better
I
to
used
do,
to
you know what I
delete
watched?
them.
Naruto debates.
Oh no, Cam, you were one of those. So was I, so.
I was about to say, I know you did. Okay, I know you did.
Yeah, I not
But
only
look,
watched them, I debated them. So I was a
Gross.
step further.
Yeah, and they were like,
my Kage versus Noodles debate. That was the only one I watched.
Okay.
no, I was like heavily invested. Okay, but like mostly because it was like my background noise.
Yeah, same. It was like editing.
It was like my
photos or
and
whatever.
then I grew out of it
Mhm.
because then I was like, ew, boys yelling at each other, gross.
Exactly. I wasn't there for the what's it called? Slamming? No. When they yell at one another, what's it called? D1 does it a lot. The not the ducking. The When you're very toxic and you're going back and forth, and that's like the point. What's the word for it again? What's the word? Kamui, do you
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think anyone's gonna have said it in chat either. No, I don't know the word. Okay, we'll just ignore it then. Anyways. But yeah, no, I wasn't there for that. I was there for like learning the debate, the fallacies and all of that, so that I could learn how to be a good debater, because I thought like it was important for like my series, which is why I started doing it anyway, so that I could like power scale better essentially and keep it consistent and stuff, like the rules of the universe alone, let alone the fights. But yeah, all that. That's why I did it. And to be fair, I got a decent bit out of it. It did shape the series, and so it hasn't necessarily done that yet, but like going forwards, there's a lot that I've like already written down that's like in the script or whatever, like in like mid screens or whatever, data books or all that. Yeah, so it helped. It was worth it. Anyway,
I did like that that some of the debates, that it was helpful in knowing a little bit more about like the characters and like their power systems, and like, oh, this says like this in the data book. It was like a little bit more insight because like I hadn't watched Naruto in a while. So like I thought that was cool, and then I was, again, like I said, I got bored of it.
Yeah, a lot of it was just so disingenuous by entirely ignoring the story. It was an obvious
that
reason.
too. I'm like, and then once I started reading and like watching Naruto again, I was like, wait, pause. Think we're forgetting context.
We've lost the plot.
We've lost the plot. I feel like we're off the map. We have lost our way. So yeah.
You're your way?
We did not find our way back, unfortunately.
Okay, that reminds me of the thing we were saying earlier. That was hilarious. I forget what it was. It was like the boss battle thing to like the level 1. What was it? It was like your mind, something about your mind fighting something or something. I forget, what was it?
Let me see.
I'm gonna control F boss. Okay, this did not help. Okay, it was here. Okay, it was right down here. It was like voice things that I was responding to. Did you want me to play the voice thing? I guess you probably would.
Yeah, you can. You can play them.
Look, I'm just so sorry. I just have a surface level thinking tonight, okay?
I did.
Yeah, so okay. You were saying something about like level thinking. And so I said, if you're doing level thinking, I think your level is on the final boss. And goofy emoji.
Oh yeah.
They're like, is
and
it?
I said,
yeah, okay.
I was like, I'm still on level 1, okay?
Yeah.
It's like we're not even out of the tutorial yet.
And I said, didn't boot up the game.
Didn't even boot up the game, okay?
I thought that was so hilarious.
Yeah, literally where my brain was at with the whole like, wait, what time did Kamui say? And then I thought you had said like, I thought you had meant that like Kamui wasn't even gonna show up today, and I was like, I don't know. I thought he for sure said he was. No, he is. I'm like, well, what time then? And I was just confused.
Because we planned for both days, today and tomorrow, but it was last night, so it was like tomorrow and the next day. So then tomorrow becomes weird because it was past midnight when we discussed it, and so he was talking about not the King of Chaos stream, which was tonight. He was talking about the Blue Star stream, which is tomorrow, which we are assuming that you don't want to be there for because it's Naruto/Boruto with Blue Stars.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Blue Star, but
it's not that. It's more so that you were planned to be here for tonight.
Yes.
The more important part. Yeah. One of these days, just to spite you, because whatever you said last time, I don't remember if it was on or off stream, but it was like, and Oodie doesn't even invite me to the Boruto streams anymore. It's like, yeah, because you dropped it. But for one of these times.
No, I had said that to be like, he doesn't invite me either. That's how I meant it.
No, I know. But it's not going to be funny to you. It's going to be really funny to me and Kamui. We're probably not going to do it now that I'm explaining anyways. Is that we're going to invite you on and not tell you what we're doing. And then we're going to be like, hey guys, welcome back to our Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 20 reaction. Joined with Camcam. It's like, obviously you're not going to do that.
I'd be like, you know what? I got to peace out, bro. Gotta go.
Dropped it at Chapter 8. So. Course
literally drop. I could not.
I mean,
you cannot
turn into a bit where she drops the series because she can just play it up. I'm dropping this series.
I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. I picked up a better series, but that what is it? Wild Strawberries that I'm reading. It's another shonen, and they're in the tournament, kind of like the tournament arc. They're in a tournament arc, but oh my god, they are speed running the tournament arc. I'm like, whoa, what are we doing? The villains have already popped up. Like the boss has already popped up, and in the tournament arc this early, they're speed running it. I don't know why, but I'm like, ooh, please! I've been praising it everywhere, and ooh, so yeah.
Sounds kind of like
So,
Marshall season 2, but that's a comedy anime to where that was almost the point.
Yeah, no, this isn't a comedy.
It wasn't funny when they did it.
This is real shit, bro. You know, we got some real shit going down.
Yeah.
You know, we're in apocalypse. So I would like to see how this plays out
Oh god.
before I drop it.
I was
So
assuming the art's still
disappointed,
good, at least. I don't know. I feel like I'm pickier than Camcam, and yet I feel like I've been forced to not drop things lately. So are we just like not talking to Attack on Titan now?
We could.
I'm kind of tired.
I got an hour until my potato's done. So, you know, at this point, like,
Cam
Yeah,
Cam,
I'm
I
like
keep
pooped.
going.
absolutely no pressure. I'll leave the call up to you.
Um, I'm kind of pooped, but so I'm gonna go because I still got to shower. But
Okay.
y'all can talk about Attack on Titan without me if you want to talk about some stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
We could
Cam Cam, I
also
feel like you
just
don't
do other
have to be
Naruto-oriented
here for the
topics.
stuff that we discussed last time on stream. Maybe if you wanted me and Kamui to talk about that, anyways.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, since we already
That's
talked
fine.
about it. Okay. I figured you'd be here for that, but I guess now I'm thinking about it, you don't have to be here technically. But yeah, I guess that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Hey, good night.
Hey, thanks, Cam
Bye.
Anyway.
Cam. Okay, so Kamui, we
What
aren't
do you
going to keep
refer
this
to
long.
specifically?
Yeah,
Huh?
okay. So you haven't seen the previous stream, which that's okay. I think I even told you to
Oh, the
do it and
free
not to
game
do it.
one?
Yeah, not the previous stream, the one with me, Free Game, and Camcam, where we talked about Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that that we were
Correct,
memeing
I do
about.
not.
Okay, yeah. So, okay. So the last attack makes no sense, but not for why you're thinking of. So this is something that I think we kind of talked about anyways. And Camcam agreed. She remembers talking about something akin to this, but not this exact
Why
idea.
is your share screen being weird?
Oh, because I'm watching this.
Okay. Okay.
I don't need to
that
share my screen
okay.
anymore. There's nothing to share. Yeah, I guess. But so me and Camcam talked about this, and we looked it up after the podcast just to like double check because it's been like 2 years since it came out and since we originally watched it or whatever. Just checking out the fine, minute details because I figured there was an explanation that I just wasn't remembering, and that's why I wish you were there, but you weren't there at the time, and nobody else knew. Free Game just wanted to move on because he didn't care. Because it just doesn't like this is so obviously a thing that it's like it's impossible that he just didn't think about. Like it's like the point almost to where I just have to be missing something or forgetting something. But we went back and rewatched it, and even now I'm just giving it the benefit of the doubt. I must be missing something because I can't not remember it since we just watched it and like at the time we were like going to confirm it and we just couldn't figure it out. So there is like an explanation, but it doesn't make sense based on what is directly shown in series. So okay, so here's the conundrum. So the rumbling starts, right? And Aaron's in Parody with everyone else, and he's going outwards. So the characters like Mikasa and Armin and Reiner and all of them, they're inside of the rumbling, and Aaron's moving outwards. Correct?
No, it's so like but it depends on what you mean by inside the rumbling.
Like, okay, here, I'll draw a map. Just so we can get the idea. I need to share my screen for this again, so give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I mean by this is I'm gonna draw a circle. I need to put my So let's just say this is where the rumbling starts. This is like the outer wall of parody or whatever. So Mikasa, Armin, and all of them, they're starting here or whatever. And the rumbling is going to move outwards in all directions. So anywhere here would be inside the rumbling. Anywhere here would be outside the rumbling. So here is safe. Out here is dangerous. You're gonna get stepped on here. You're not gonna get stepped on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And obviously, this would apply for like the entire way as the rumbling moves out. So this is where the rumbling starts or whatever. As the rumbling continues, the circle is going to get bigger, but that doesn't change from like inside or inside to outside. So it's going to go across the whole world like that. So the point is, they're starting inside the rumbling. Is how we're going to use this terminology. The rumbling's moving outwards or whatever. That's fine. I'll even just do one arrow just so it makes sense. So rumbling's going to do this. And okay. They do this. So we'll ignore the time that they spend doing the things they do and the speed of the rumbling for now. We'll ignore both of those factors. The point is just going from the inside to the outside and then inside and how that works. So, okay, they start inside. They're inside parody, and then they go fight Flock to get the boat. And the flying boat is separate from the boat. So they get on the boat to tug the flying boat to the fort where Hanji dies. So they're not flying there. They're boating there. Because the plane needs to be prepared or whatever. The point is that the plane isn't ready to fly yet. They need to go to Hanji's fort place area where she dies to prepare the plane. So they do that. So keep in mind, they're inside the rumbling when that happens, because the rumbling's already like out at the ocean or in Marley or wherever, and they're still in parody fighting Flock. So they fight Flock, they take the boat, and then they boat to the island. The island, as you know, is outside of the rumbling, which is the entire reason Hanji dies in the first place, because the rumbling goes towards them to stomp where they're currently at. How or when or why or what did they go from inside the rumbling to outside of the rumbling?
So I want to just double check this,
which is what we did after the podcast. Yeah, feel free. We couldn't find the explanation. Maybe you can. Maybe we were overlooking a detail. I don't know. But like, this is just so glaring to you that you agree there has to be an explanation for this, right?
So, well, the first thing to note is, I could be wrong, but I don't believe that the rumbling actually just went in a circular radius outward. But what I thought, anyway, it kind of just went. So if you were, I'm going to exaggerate this to make a point. Rather than the radius just expanding outwards, it essentially, this obviously requires Aaron to make it into a line to begin with. But it's almost like they were just going around the world in a circle. So just imagine the rumbling going clockwise, just around the world like that.
Okay, so here, we'll make another chart over here.
When they describe
so
yeah, just do it. Just draw a circle. Just slowly draw a circle.
So let's just assume this is Earth. This is
not
the
like
globe.
That. Can you do it with like a paintbrush?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. Just slowly draw a circle. Okay, so let's just stop there. That motion you just made.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of the rumbling is the Titans walking in that circular path. It's the first thing.
So okay, let me do what I was trying to do just a second ago, because I think that makes it a little bit more simple for me to understand what you're saying. Assuming I think this is what you're saying. So let's just say this is the globe, and that parody just is here on the globe. What you're saying is, and this doesn't have to be perfect, but what you're saying is that like Aaron would, all the Titans are here. Aaron's gonna spread the Titans out to like a line to where it's like this, and then all the Titans are gonna move like this, just across the globe until they go all the way around.
Not exactly
like
how
that.
I was saying, but similar idea anyway. To where I think, like, I don't know that he was expanding out. I don't know, but I don't think he was expanding outwards so that essentially just the outskirts and parody at the center were left. I think he was just going around the world, like, however you want to draw that. He's just going around the world. Like, he's going from Asia to Australia to Antarctica to Africa to South America, and he just stops at USA, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like
So
that.
let's just draw a very, very rough outline of the world. So there's Canada and the United States and Mexico and South America. There's that, and then there's Madagascar, obviously.
Yeah, they just say Madagascar's there, even though it's obviously
we got like
in Africa.
Russia and Japan and all the other Germanic and Asian Africa down here and all that, and it's the perfect map of the world. That's exactly what it looks like. Antarctica's up here and the South Pole's down here. We're gonna ignore those since people don't really live there anyways, but you get the idea. So
Yeah.
what Aaron's doing is what you're saying is he's like
So just
traveling
like-
almost like Santa, where he's going like place to place. Like he'll go like boo 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 boo.
Kind of, yeah. That's how I thought when I first watched anyway. Like, it was kind of like that. Like,
Okay.
he was just going around. I think there might have been more than one rumbling path, but there was like one main one. Because that's why they were saying, like, I have to relook at some of the stuff, but some of the stuff they said, I don't think it would have made sense if it was just spherically going outward. Like, I almost feel like it has to be kind of like what I said, like the Santa Claus way. I'm gonna double check everything for when the rumbling starts. I'm just checking the manga to make this quick.
Well, to sort of go against that, because I don't know exactly what you're referring to, is that first of all, we see that Aaron isn't there at like 90% of the places he's rumbling, especially when like they're doing like the montage when the baby's being placed or whatever.
Well,
They're
that's
showing
what I'm
like
saying, that there
everywhere
might be
possible.
there's more than one path, but
Yeah.
he's on like the main one, like the biggest one, but there's other ones.
So
too.
what they say, what you're referring to with the path that Aaron is on, because there's only one Aaron, so he's just going somewhere. But Aaron is going to Fort Salta, which is where the final battle is, because that's where Yelena says, like, last trenches of humanity, their final stand to hold out is going to be. So Aaron's trying to take that out himself.
Real quick, just to confirm, when Aaron starts the rumbling, are they in Shiganshina again, or are they somewhere else?
I think they're inside Shiganshina, yeah.
That's what I thought. And so, as we know, the inner walls still exist. This is yet another reason why I don't think it's just a spheres going outward, because if it was, we know where Shiganshina is. If it was a sphere going outward, they would have dealt with the rumbling titans very quickly. Just the wall Cena titans would have walked into Armin and everyone eventually.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I think he target them in these weird directions and whatnot, so that this just isn't even a concern.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So we've seen that. Me and Camcam addressed that actually before we talked about this conversation, since I think this is what led into this conversation in the first place. We see this in universe, is that Aaron didn't want to, they don't say this, but like they show it, is that Aaron obviously wouldn't want to trample on Paradis. Obviously, because Camcam, I think, I forget how we got into this. I think Camcam was thinking something along the lines of like the full rumbling can't make sense because of this exact idea. And I was saying, no, we see that the Titans move like in the line. We even looked up the short. I think I might have posted this. We'll go to the Attack on Titan chat instead of me just explaining it. I might have posted it in here. I don't know if I did or not. It's gonna be one of the videos if it is. Is this it? No, that's how fast was rumbling. Okay, how didn't rumbling destroy Paradis? We're gonna watch this. Let me just open this.
How does the
I found the chapters when it starts so that I can skip through it after.
I think it's anime only, so you'd have to see it in the anime. We like kind of looked for it, but not really. But we didn't find it because we didn't look for it all that hard. But because we got sidetracked with a different thing that she found. But okay, I'm sharing my screen if you want to listen to this.
rumbling not destroy Paradise or inside the walls. The rumbling unleashed countless colossal titans to flatten the outside world, yet the areas within Paradise, including the walls of Rose and Maria, remained untouched.
This is like how it looks. Does it just frame every couple of seconds for you? Like, is that the video?
Oh yeah.
Was no accident.
No, it's just pictures. It's like zooming in. It's nothing very
Well,
important.
even like his text, it's lagging.
Here, I'll
Let's just restart.
stop sharing and reshare.
Yeah.
Eren specifically controlled the Titans through the Founding Titans power. The colossal Titans were originally positioned within the walls, and Eren's command directed them outward, bypassing Paradise entirely. Titans are linked to the Founding Titans' will, allowing Eren to precisely orchestrate their movements and ensure his homeland wasn't damaged during the march. This decision reflects Eren's goal, protecting Paradise at all costs, even if it meant annihilating the rest of the world. But they did destroy some structures and killed people inside the walls too, which was minimal, as shown in the show.
So I'll say what he's saying there at the end. That wasn't the colossal titans. That was from the walls collapsing.
Yeah.
Because even one of the
you
parents say their
you had
son.
a question about the person who was like by the wall or whatever.
Yeah, it was the mom who was saying that their son died because of that. And I was writing about that in the chat, just like as a follow up for Camcam's conversation there, because I didn't remember that happening, but she did. So I think that's how we deviated away from that. But this was the comment that I wanted to show you, since this was what me and Camcam looked at. I think this was also after stream as well. There was a scene where they showed the inner wall of Shiganshina, where you see the Titans going in opposite directions. I guess the Titans all followed a route right where the wall was. So they basically formed a line and moved outside the parody, keeping the damage minimal. Only casualties were those who got crushed by the wall, crumbling on it. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do another circle over here. So, okay, so let's just say we got, like, the 3 walls or whatever.
You have to redo your thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Change windows to entire screen. Okay. So we got, like, the 3 walls or whatever, and then we got Shiganshina where they are. So, and they got, like,
it's
the other...
It's just showing me Discord.
Oh, really?
Oh, there we go, okay.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's there now. It just took a while, I guess.
So I won't draw them all, but, like, you get the point. You got all the districts.
This looks like Mike Wazowski sticking his tongue out.
God. So I think the idea is that realistically, there's 99% of the population is in the districts, in the cities, like all here. This is Shiganshina, so technically it's like evacuated or something. I don't know what happened here, but yeah, I guess civilians just weren't here at the time. But the point is that, like, there's not really any structures throughout the great majority of the land. So what Eren is doing for, like, especially Shiganshina, is when he has the Titans, he just has them move outwards and then go, rather than just straight down. And then obviously that would make sense for same for here. They would go this way and then they'd go down, and then they would just avoid this, since, like, anywhere this way they can just go in the radial direction. That'd be completely fine. But they would just ignore this entirely. Like, they would just go around it essentially, like this. But that's the vibe I get. Like, just
that's the first part, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find now just if they describe the path of the rumbling at all.
Well, that gets into the speed, which is another thing that we deviated to, which was also a problem. And I realize it's a problem in universe, which is something Camcam didn't realize. So we'll get to that another time. We'll save the speed thing for Camcam. Well, we can go over it a little bit, but either way, for now, we'll stick with this. We'll go to the speed thing last. So, okay. So back to this. So I agree. I don't think, based on the explanation we just saw, that it's a perfect radial direction, but I think in general it's radial, and Eren's just going to one place, which is how they know where to go to Eren. Not that it's like 5 different paths and that, oh, Eren's probably going on this path. I think that Eren was just going with the rumbling to the part where Eren thought would be best. But either way, I think the rumbling is generally radial. And that seems to be what's, like, depicted through, like, the ocean steam thing that they see as well.
I don't remember what I'm referring to specifically there.
Okay. Well, that's how they're like determining where the rumbling is to an extent. Like this is like around the time where they're like fighting Flock either before or after it, and they're like looking at the ocean and they see in the distance all the steam. They're like, yeah, that's where the rumbling is. That was probably part of the
okay, that's
ocean.
what you're referring to. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We'll come back to that, but so I think we'll talk on speed just real quick. Is that Hanji says they're the speed of a galloping horse, so like 70 kilometers. When they're like walking, obviously, in like a straight line. That wouldn't be assuming when they're like sliding down mountains or whatever when they're on land. But obviously, I think when they're swimming, it's easily possible. But I would assume that they're not going the exact same speed. They're probably going substantially faster or slower. I mean, based on the anime, it looked like they were going way faster.
Is they should be going slower realistically.
Yeah.
But I feel like they looked like they were going fast in the anime.
I
Obviously,
agree.
the manga you can't really judge, but like in the anime, it looks like they were going pretty quick.
I completely agree. Yeah. But assuming they were going faster, what I could see Eren doing going back down to this map is that I don't think I'm gonna do it. Well, I guess I can't. I'm just gonna have to back up a lot. Undo it, done. God. I don't think Eren was going like Santa Claus from location to location like that. I think it was generally radial, just not perfectly, to where, assuming the Titans can swim quickly, he's having the Titans go to like all the shores generally and then going outwards into the land. But like, I don't know, like something like that. Like, however he can get to the land the quickest is, I think, if he's doing it that way based on swimming.
Maybe. I'm just trying to see if I can find where they discuss this at all whatsoever.
Yeah. I'll also note, I didn't think about this, but someone else commented on this. I saw this earlier today, is that Eren took out 80% of humanity. That doesn't mean Eren rumbled 80% across the globe. This is especially true. I don't think Isayama's thinking about this, to be fair, so I think he did just rumble 80% of the globe. But this is especially true considering people not only live generally in population clusters, but also back in the day especially, which is when Attack on Titan seems to be referencing taking place, they lived a lot closer to the shores, generally. Most of the population.
Yeah, I mean... And not to mention that, like, Paradis probably got a pretty dense population because they weren't expanding. Because they didn't even know to expand. So they're probably the most extreme there. Marley itself, that gets, like, totally rumbled. And that seems to be, like, a pretty highly populated country as well. So I think, like, some of these places, like, and there's probably some vast lands. I mean, if we're going to look at... So obviously in Paradis' case, a lot of the... If you look at the walls, it's super dense, but then like the rest of there's hardly any, there's no people at all. It's just Titans actually. But there's probably other lands that are similar to where they're just spread out. There's not that many people despite the land. Russia in real life is an example of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's biggest country ever, but it doesn't have that many people compared to what it looks like.
And so this sounds so goofy. So goofy it sounds to say this. But it's possible Eren could have rumbled as little as like single digit number in terms of landmass.
Yeah, because like theoretically, if Eren, and using just real life countries, if Eren rumbled the United States, China, and India, I don't know actually what percentage this would be, but like hypothetically, he may have just rumbled like at least 50% of the population. I wouldn't be surprised considering how many people are in those three countries.
Exactly. Like, I think even more extreme.
It's not 80% of the land.
Yeah, even more extreme. Let's just pretend Japan is the entirety of the world. Tokyo is the most dense populated area. Imagine how small Tokyo is compared to the rest of the world. If Eren rumbled Tokyo, that's like 1% of the world or something. But he took out like a huge portion of the population there. So.
Exactly. You know, like, so all we know is 80% of the population is what they say. But I think he just got 80% around the world.
I think so as well, because I don't think Isayama thought about all that. But like, it's just funny to think.
He cared. It just wasn't really mattered. Like, you know.
Yeah. As far as we know, Eren got like 8% around the world, which is hilarious to think. But it's possible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. So what I will say, coming away from this one, going back to the main one, again, I don't think it's perfectly radial, but like strategically wise, I think it should be radial, at least, if Eren is planning on having the rumbling work. Because like hypothetically, let's just say Eren is doing kind of radial, but kind of, which is how I think he's doing it anyways. But like hypothetically, his radial direction looks a little bit more like this kind of like it's got bumps and curves and everything in it. Then, if that's the case, I feel like you could almost just like slip through a gap or a weak point, and not just like, which is how I think they got from inside to outside for Hanji's thing, anyways. But it's really, really weird they didn't address that on screen, and like almost like they're surprised when the rumbling catches up to them as well. But
yeah, that's why I thought it was just going around in that Santa Claus path, because it was like I'm just gonna, okay, so like let's just say, okay, the bottom little corner thing you have on the bottom there, let's just say that's where the flying boat flocking them end up. Yeah, that's like what the flying boat was.
Yeah,
that little like, you're right there. Just say there's what that is. So like it felt like they're like, okay, now let's just say the rumbling when they go there is just all the way to the right center.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That's fine. Even just somewhere over there. They're like, okay, the rumbling's over there. Eventually, it's gonna go in that clockwise circle and catch up to us. So when it happens, they're just like, oh, it finally happened. That's how it felt watching it.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
like
I see what you're saying.
Why would they be so surprised? You went past it, like, that'd just be weird.
That'd be another interesting one. Yeah, instead of like Santa Claus, just location to location, if it's like almost like a spiral around the Earth, but instead of like a perfect spiral.
When I was thinking, if it's spiraling around because it starts at the center of parody or whatever.
Yeah, but instead of like a perfect spiral, it would be technically like a huge line at like every point. So it's kind of like this is what the line would look like as the line is moving in the spiral direction, which would crush everything that way. So it's like at that point, the line is moving to get you here.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a line. So the line it's like a really thick marker for this. Like,
See, I was thinking more radial, but like not perfectly, which is how I think. Let's just say part of the rumbling is here, and then the other part is like already advanced here. So they're like slipping through the cracks here to get from Paradis to like the fort as the rumbling moves outwards. But like that's really weird to me how they're just like slipping through a crack where the rumbling just doesn't exist because it's just not here yet. It's like, this is what the rumbling would do, but it's not there yet, and the rumbling's already passed at this point, so it's like they could just slip through here. It's really, really weird how I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. I guess yours makes a little bit more sense, but the fact that they're able to do this means anyone could have done this. Which, if that's not what Eren's going for, I don't understand why he would do it like that, really.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because they ride. How do they get to the place where the Ozymobitos are at? How do they get there?
Do you mean the place where Hanji dies, or the Ozmobito land after they leave where Hanji dies?
Let's just see where they are.
Because that's the next thing that I think also makes no sense, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Let's just go with, okay, so first they get to a place like Flock had the Osmobito lady hostage. This is where Das is gonna die because Connie's gonna kill him. This is where Flock, they fight Flock and he gets knocked in the water. He's gonna later show up and shoot a bullet.
Yeah.
I think that's where Hanji dies anyway, isn't it?
No, that is, yeah. That's the place.
Okay, yeah, so it's all the same place.
By the way, they get there the night before, so they were far in front of the rumbling that was apparently several days in front of them, that moves as fast as a galloping horse when they're using a tugboat, which they specifically describe as slower than the other boat, which is why Magath and Keith sacrifice themselves to blow up that boat so Paradis doesn't catch up to them. which is where the speed thing doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they rode the boat to that place where they get the flying boat, right?
Yeah. So they get there the night before, if not even earlier.
Yeah, so like
when the rumbling is several days out at this point.
Because again, the rumbling goes around them. Like, so the rumbling starts ahead of them.
Yeah.
I don't, and they were saying, like, I don't think, Hanji says, I just read it, she didn't think that the rumbling would be able to cross the ocean that quickly. So they couldn't have tugboated past. I don't think that they could just boat past the rumbling without getting destroyed.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
So
yeah.
I don't think that they were in. I don't think the rumbling was in the water when they went on the water.
I agree, but that doesn't make sense if they're going.
It has to go in that weird way.
It's gotta be,
because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
It's got to be your way. Yeah, that's the only explanation. Because, like, yeah, the only way they could go over it is if Aaron's just allowing them by deactivating the Colossal Titan's heat, or more specifically, he's being
so deep that
yeah, like I'm thinking more specifically, like he'd be strategic like Bertolt, and he doesn't want all the Colossal Titans to burn out, so he's only really using a lot of their heat when he's like in a populated area, such as when he's like attacking that naval fleet to do that.
I mean, even then, he's not even really using their heat. It's more just like there's just a natural heat emitting from them being Colossal Titans. He's not being like Bertolt, where he's shooting out the steam.
I agree, but that's another thing that doesn't make sense that we didn't even get to with Camcam. So, you remember Ramsey's death, right? How he just got stomped on?
Yeah.
He wasn't on fire or anything. And neither was Hanji for an hour fighting the Colossal Titans up close and personal. But then you have other scenes. Again, this is during the montage, I think, of the rumbling the first time. A little bit after Ramsey's death, maybe a little bit before Ramsey's death. I think around the time where Aaron says he's disappointed. So I think it's around that point. It could be, maybe not. It's the scene where like the person like shoots himself in the head and like the car is trying to drive away and everyone's like throwing everyone else off the car or whatever. You get a scene during that montage of the rumbling just destroying the world to where people who haven't been rumbled yet, because the rumbling's in the background, they're just like charred to ash, basically looking like Armin at that one point in season 3.
I feel like I remember that. Yeah, it's weird. I mean,
but that doesn't make sense. I mean, unless they set themselves on fire because they didn't want to be rumbled, then at that point, just be rumbled.
Yeah, or at least show us them doing that. So
like, it doesn't feel like that's what they were going for. It feels like they're dying from the rumbling's heat, but that's so inconsistent.
So, I mean, I understand from the perspective of, I think, assuming we're remembering everything correctly, if I had to guess, what Isayama was trying to do there was, now you could argue why not just kind of combine both, but I think he wanted to depict the horrors of the rumbling.
Yeah.
So like the main two here would be the heat and the stomping.
Yeah.
He wanted to like emphasize both in the most horrific way possible.
I agree.
So Ramsey getting stepped on, people being burned alive, and it's kind of hard to do both in the same scene. Otherwise, it either comes off as it just burned alive first, or it's going to look like an explosion, which isn't really what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's just my guess on why he would have done that.
I agree.
Just wanted to show both.
I think it's good to depict both, but in universe, obviously it doesn't make sense unless you come up with some other random reach of an explanation. So just, I can do one right now. Maybe they were in like an extra arid, dry, hot part of the earth to where that happened.
Yeah,
like
like California.
Or it's possible that like, because they just got out of the water, the steam is extra humid or something is possible. I don't know. It's making up stuff.
Yeah, it's making it. I think just using like a California type thing to where like wherever it's just a place where like wildfires are already prone to happening.
Yeah.
So like the burning just catches fire or something. Like the best thing to do would just do like a combustion thing to where like the trees caught on fire and that was causing, or the buildings caught on fire that caused people to burn or something like that.
Exactly.
A little bit more indirect.
Yeah. So that's basically
like,
what
Ramsey wasn't super building like anyway. It was a lot more like, in fact, like the houses were like made of like rocks or some shit.
That's
like it wasn't like that.
Yeah, that's practically what Bertolt was doing in the Return to Shiganshina arc anyways. He was using the heat from his Titan as he was like shoveling the houses over the wall or whatever he was doing to catch them on fire.
So you could have like, in this case they wouldn't be doing that, but they would just like
it's the
walk
same
into
idea.
a building, the building catches on fire, then that fire crashes down and it catches some people on fire just from being nearby. That'd probably be the best way to do it.
Or
that
even
depicts the horror of the scene.
Like what happened with Ramsey, how like one of the Colossal Titans like were just walking and they like not stumbled, but like a building was just in their way, so they just kicked it since they're like mindlessly walking, and the building just like explodes forwards, but it's like rock, so it just crushes Ramsey. In this case, it could just be wood and like a fireball going towards people.
Exactly, yeah, like a fiery wood, and it just scorches someone.
Exactly, yeah.
That would work.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, that wouldn't
you could do if they had planes like flying by their heads and they just burn, like the plane just burns.
Yeah.
That's another thing they could have done, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So the obvious problem with it being the clockwise direction or counterclockwise, whatever spiral you want to do, or the Santa Claus one, is obviously, I feel like that's extremely easy to survive, unless you're just not prepared, obviously. But
yeah, you just keep going. Just
go wherever it's
going
already
in a
been.
circle, avoiding it.
Yeah. Like, if the rumbling happened in our real life and that's how it's doing, and I hear the rumbling already hit the UK and it's like in Africa now, I'm just buying a plane ticket to the UK.
Yeah. I mean, it's expensive, but I feel like the prices would just go down anyway because it's a survival necessity.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think Eren was planning, assuming he wasn't stopped and assuming he actually wanted to do the rumbling, assuming he is going in this pattern, I don't think he's planning on re-rumbling the earth. It's like a one and done. Anyone who just survives just lives. So it's like,
yeah.
just go where it's already been and you're safe.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, I don't know for sure. That's just the vibe I got, because I don't have anything super specific. Like, I have to really rewatch it and just see that, like, point out that's the thing. You know, maybe when we get to it, when we do continue our rewatch again.
Yeah.
We
to
can
be
see.
fair, I don't think there is an explanation. The closest thing we get to seeing it is the ocean just having a straight line across it of the seam, and them commenting on the fact that it's like in the ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess that is just
I don't know.
shot, so yeah.
At the end of the day, this is the vibe I got, and it seems to be the best answer. Even
I
if
agree.
It's in some ways dumb,
but it's especially dumb though, because regardless of survival, I feel like, again, like, I understand, like, they got the whole Navy fleet from the Global Alliance Military of the World or whatever, and Eren destroyed that. But I feel like it would have been so easy if the rumbling is just at a certain part of the world to just go attack Paradis, and Eren can't do anything about it. Like, they could just boat to Paradis and attack it. They could kill Eren's friends. Like, that defeats the point of the rumbling. That's the pincer maneuver, basically.
I mean, the only problem is, was that going to stop Eren? No. He would just incentivize him to keep going.
Well, no, but the point of it was to protect Paradis. If Paradis gets destroyed anyways, then, like, what was the point?
Well, he might still just do it out of revenge.
It's not to stop the rumbling. It would strictly just be to say, screw you, Paradis.
Yeah.
Just because they're angry at the rumbling or whatever, yeah. It's basically what Gabby did to Sasha.
They probably prioritize trying to live as best they can.
I mean, look at what Gabby did to Sasha. She wasn't prioritizing living. People are angry. It's the rumbling. I could see people doing some rash stuff, whether it's an official military force or just people.
I'll say this much. The blind sheep thing, someone should have been trying to do that. Like,
see, but that's why it should have been impossible.
Armin, maybe the commander of the naval fleet. Someone should have, maybe Commander McGath has to convince them not to because of his night at the end campfire conversation. Honestly speaking, someone should have probably tried doing that, and then they had to stop them. I think Commander McGath could have been a good person to do that, to be like, no, we need to focus on the rumbling itself or something like that.
Could've been
That
cool.
would be a reasonable thing to address. I
I
would
like
say.
that, yeah. Because otherwise, it just
The
doesn't
question
make
is-
sense. Like, because at that
Yeah.
point, King Fritz is threat, even if it was empty the whole time. The world didn't know that. It's not a threat. It's like, I mean, I guess we'll destroy the world, but we'll destroy you too. So, like, at that point, you're not gonna do the rumblings.
I also hate to say this, but I wanted to say, I mean, honestly, even with nerfed Levi, but let's not even talk about Prime Levi. Nerfed Levi was still just better than everyone, especially Hanji. We saw how good Hanji did. I'm sorry. Never mind the fact that Hanji could have survived if Levi and Mikasa just helped her. But, like, I hate to say it, Levi and Mikasa could have just, like, I wouldn't say soloed the whole rumbling, but, like, a lot of it.
So
Just kill 50 Titans, cool off, and do it again. Like, I low-key feel like they could have just beat the rest.
So I feel like the interpretation is a little bit ambiguous to a certain extent. I think that's pretty clear what he's going for. But I think both interpretations are at least there to where Eren both master planned this all along. He knew exactly how this was going to go. He faked his death. Not faked his, but like he like tricked the world into thinking Paradis are heroes by doing this. Blah. I feel like that's one. I feel like that's what he was going for, but I feel like the other one that's ambiguous and made not clear on whether it is or isn't is that he actually was fighting back, but he was allowing them to be free to fight against him, and they just actually did legitimately stop Eren, who was trying.
Yeah, that's... Well...
Well, the way I'm thinking about that, it's basically very similar in concept to Sasuke versus Itachi. Itachi was sick and nerfed and actually was trying, even though he could have killed Sasuke at any moment. Like, he wasn't faking being out of breath or being hit that one time.
Yeah, so, like, with Eren in particular, it's like, obviously, as far as the trying goes, he allowed them to, like... So he could have just turned off Reina's Armor Titan, for example.
Yeah.
He's allowing Reina to, like, actually use his powers.
Exactly.
But aside from that, I think he's supposed to be trying to do the rumble. Like, he doesn't want to kill them, but, like, he's fighting to... So Eren's fighting to win the fight, not to kill them. But he's fighting to win the fight. But he knows he's gonna be stopped. But he's still trying anyway. Not because it's just like he is going all out, but he knows at the same time he's not going to win.
Like with Sasuke versus Itachi, Itachi was clearly, obviously much stronger, but the point is that even though Itachi pushed Sasuke to his limits, Sasuke did the same thing. He did push Itachi to his limits.
Yeah.
So. Also, even though Eren like saw the future, he gave up on changing it or whatever. I feel like to a certain extent he was just trying to kill Peak there.
Yeah, well, like she said, he never talked to Peak.
Exactly.
He didn't care.
He didn't care.
Peak lived.
Yeah.
I mean, he had no reason. I mean, Peak wasn't his friend at any point.
Yeah.
Peak was only his enemy.
Exactly. Like, he wouldn't care
No,
if
yeah,
Lizard
Peak
died.
is just there. Like at the end.
Exactly. But also,
what do
in
you
fact,
think, though? Do you like honestly, like I know like it sounds ridiculous, but like, do you also feel like based off how Haji did that, like Levi and Mikasa could just like beat the rumbling for the most part? Especially considering that Levi's like freaking fighting like a lot of Ymir's revived warrior titans. He's just beating all.
I mean, I think that it was a lot of the assisting them that helped them out as well, even if they did a lot of the legwork. I feel like they couldn't have done it alone. They would have got swarmed and overwhelmed. Even Levi was essentially saying that he wouldn't even go in there alone or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but like at the same time, those are the warrior titans actively fighting them. The colossal titans aren't fighting; they're just being a hunt. Like they're not doing anything.
So first of all, what do you mean when you say this? Because Eren can make infinite number of them, and So are you giving them like the
I don't
TNT from
think
the
Aaron's
plane
getting infinite number
already?
of colossal titans. He
What-
just has what he has.
Wait, what?
I'm talking about the colossal titans, like the rumbling.
Oh, well, I think it'd be the same as Hanji. They would just burn unless they stopped partially. Well, the
Well,
colossal
that's
titans
what I'm
weren't
saying.
fighting
Yeah,
back.
but like that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if they just because Levi and me, especially Levi, like we know that he just moves faster for some reason with his ODM gear, like 50 times faster. So he's just gonna kill all the. Let's just say Hanji killed, I don't know, 20 titans out of like the 100 that were there. Low key, Levi is just gonna get through like 60 in that time frame. He could then back off, cool off, and do it again. Kill, and then they could just rinse and repeat over and over again.
I mean, theoretically, but like it would probably take like their entire lifetime, which they don't have that amount of time.
What is? I don't know. Like,
Because people have done the calculations. There's anywhere from like 100,000 to 2 million titans. So like,
okay, let's go with the low number then. The 100,000. Like, I think he could do that, especially with the whole team doing it.
again, over the
The
course
2
of their
million,
entire
yeah,
life, probably, but
But
the whole world would have
I
been
guess it's
rumbled 50 times over. So,
yeah, I guess it depends on how many there actually were.
but I'm glad that you're saying that for the absolute nonsense that was season 3 with Armin's death, and that they could have taken shifts, and also Hanji's death, and that they could have taken shifts there.
Armin's is a little different because it had to do with tricking Bertold. But Hanji's death, absolutely, I agree. Hanji just wanted to die.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, like, and it's fine for her to have that desire, but like, one, it came out of nowhere. She never mentioned. If she had been saying this all series, how she wanted to go out in a glory, she was like, "Not yet. This isn't my glorious moment to die. Not yet. Not yet." In each season, then I think this would work just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the first time she ever mentioned it, so it's like,
Yeah.
you don't need to die, bro. Like, just,
Exactly.
like Levi wasn't. Was Levi even helping tug the boat? He had like no fingers. I doubt he was even pushing the boat with like Onyun Capone and all them. But he could have he's probably sitting in there. But he could just go help fight the Titans.
Exactly, bro. It's ridiculous. God.
And also, I mean, I also hate to say it, but like, Camcam would probably hate me. I like aspects of Hanji's death, don't get me wrong. But like, ignoring presentation of the scene, whether it has emotional impact on the viewer, to an extent, what is the point of Hanji's death?
Mhm.
So like for Naruto, what's the point of Jiraiya's death? So Naruto can understand Sasuke.
Yeah.
So he can understand the same pain, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a very easy example. What's the point of Neji's death? It's to essentially help Obito get a point on Naruto. But then obviously, like, Naruto then uses, I want to store my comrades in my heart thing to then argue back on Obito after. But it's facilitating their argument. I guess the horror of the rumbling.
No,
It's all you
they've
got?
depicted that infinitely
Like-
better in other scenes. The real reason is because they wanted to show Hanji's final scene as well as her. They wanted someone to show skilled that's fighting the rumbling and like slightly winning or whatever. But they needed someone to die to do that, so they just gave it to Hanji. Just fulfill her character arc, just end it there.
Well, it's like I
The
think
only
they
way to
just
do it.
I really think they just wanted like so similar to Sasha dying earlier in the series. It's like Aaron couldn't see everything and his wacky plans led to the death of so many characters.
I don't think that's what they were
Hanji
going
here.
for. That doesn't feel like what they're going for.
Well, I mean, he at least mentions it, like,
Well, Aaron's
like,
perspective doesn't make any sense on that, and I will stick true to that to the end of my days, because Aaron was watching them the whole time and said later on that he knew that Hanji died. No. He was talking to Armin beforehand. Before Hanji died, he told Armin that. He knew Hanji was gonna die. Eren is the one that killed Hanji for no reason. But then Hanji also died for no reason. Like, if Hanji didn't go to do that, I think Eren would have stopped those Titans. Because Eren's not just gonna rumble everyone there. This is not gonna happen. So, it's not like Eren didn't see it, or that he was focused somewhere else, or his head was in the clouds, he was keeping his eyes
scene
closed.
of Armin on the boat when when he wakes up and he talks to Annie, is that before or after Hanji's death? We need to confirm that.
It's before. Well, no. So in the timeline, it's before Hanji's death, but it's like after Hanji's death.
I know that we don't skip till later, but I want to confirm that real quick because
it's when they're going to the location where Hanji dies. Yes, it's after they defeat Flock. I mean, you can confirm it, but I'm just letting you know it is the case because I just watched it.
Yeah, because
I know this is also the case because part of the thing here is that Eren erased Armin's memory so that Armin doesn't know that Hanji's gonna die.
Yeah, I know that part, but okay, hold on. I have to double check this because if that boat scene happens after Hanji's already dead, this works fine. But if it happens before,
well, because keep in mind, they're on the
why did
boat.
You kill Hanji?
Yeah, they're exactly. That's what I've been saying all along. But they're on the boat. They're only on the boat before Hanji's death. They don't get on a boat after Hanji's death. They're only on the plane. Because keep in mind, they plane away from Hanji's death, and then the plane just goes straight to the rumbling, aside from stopping off screen to let the Ozma, Bito, and Annie off the boat or whatever to get on that boat. But Armin doesn't get on that boat, obviously. That is on screen. You get the idea.
Is this before the Night of the End episode, then? Has to be, if that's the kill. I'm just gonna keep.
No, it's after that because Night of the End is before they fight Flock.
Well, wait, hold on.
It's at the start of the first finale special. It's in the finale special where Hanji dies. Hanji dies in the first finale special, and it's before that. It's at the beginning of the first finale because it's what they started the movie with, for reference, and then they moved into Hanji's death.
Yep. Okay. Yep. I just confirmed. Yep. You're right. Okay. Now. Okay. Yep. I just want to make sure that Hanji is not dead yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I need to.
So Eren killed Hanji.
Go find the last chapter. Realistically.
Yeah. So much for wanting his friends to live long lives. See, now what you could say is that Eren's doing that similar to what Itachi's doing, pretending to be evil to make his friends think this so that his friends need to go kill him. But then the problem is Eren didn't need to go rumble this port while they're still at it at all in the first place. And plus, again, Eren wouldn't have done that. So they were already going to stop him. Hanji's death didn't even factor into them stopping him in the finale. No one mentioned Hanji. Stopping Eren. So.
Exactly.
So it's just for no reason. Yeah. I will stick to that to my end of my days. God. This is bad.
Well, I mean, so I'm just looking at the manga translation anyway here to make this easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
He mentions, I massacred 80% of all humanity. I made all of Paradise Island start killing each other. I got my precious friends dragged into this war, all the while not knowing if any of them were even still alive.
I think you might be looking at the wrong part because he mentions, I think, Hanji and Sasha by name.
That's what I'm looking for, and I can't seem to find it.
I mean, at least it was in the movie. so they had made it.
I'm like, when does he say this? Yeah.
I didn't read it, so I don't know.
I thought he specifically referred to, I mean, that might just be an anime versus manga thing, too.
I don't think so, but Might be, I don't know.
Well, let me just try checking the anime real quick then.
Sure.
This will just be in the last episode when they're.
I
It's when he's talking to Armin, like in the end, right? Like
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the ocean. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay then.
I could be
so
wrong. It could be somewhere
Let me
else.
just.
It might have been in the snow. I don't know. It could have been anywhere. I guess
I'm just gonna try this.
I think you already got
Attack on Titan.
Camcam said
So
in
I-
chat,
I-
responding to someone else, I got 5 hours of sleep last night. I'm tired. To like excuse herself leaving because they're like calling her out. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Does I not watch the second part of the finale episode? Okay, here it is, episode 2. Okay.
Because I mean, again, this does have emotional impact and resonance and all that, but it is out of nowhere. The conflict is artificial and almost adverse to the bigger conflict going on. Because again, the point is to catch up to the rumbling, to catch up to Eren. And then they're surprised it's already caught up to us, not letting us know that they got in front of it at some point. Or at the very least, they're not letting us know how the rumbling works in the first place. So it's like they're making this conflict out of nowhere, which surprises the viewer, but not the characters. Like they were expecting it randomly, but then it's surprise. I don't understand.
I want this low. Oh my god. It's so hard to find. This is making this a big pain in the ass. Just to find this sticking episode.
And again, Hanji, in her death, that is a very beautiful moment, seeing Erwin and everyone else that happened. Like, I feel like that's doing more with your universe right at the finale before you're done with it forever. So I feel like I'm glad he did it, but that doesn't make it any less unnecessary. Like, it felt like he wanted to do that, and then he just wrote around wanting to do that, rather than that being the natural consequence of something else that he happened to be doing. Like, it's the only reason.
Say that again, sorry. They're trying to find this sticking. Oh, this is being such a bitch to find.
You're good. All I know is this rumbling just doesn't make sense. On any front. Also, Kamui, getting back to the speed thing, if you're able to like focus at all. Again, Hanji says it's like a galloping horse on land or whatever, 70 kilometers an hour or whatever. And they're coming over the mountaintops, like invading the city. Like it's a city that they're in. They're at the end of the city. The rumbling's at the other end. The boat people say it's going to take an hour to fuel the plane before they see the rumbling. And then the rumbling immediately comes over the cliff after that. They're like, oh my god, it's rumbling. And Hanji's like, I gotta stall them. So she's seemingly stalling them for an hour, since they don't say, we gotta rush and do it in 30 minutes or 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. Like, the only indication we get is that it just did take an hour. But, so then the rumbling took an hour to cross one city. Again, I understand Hanji slowed him down, but like, we see how many thunder spears she brought. So she's firing like one thunder spear every 15 minutes. It's like that's like she's restocking or refueling or anything. If she was doing that, then again, they could just be taking shifts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like they could have just beaten it. Like,
yeah, like she knocks over like 3 or 4 titans, kills like 3 or 4 of them, and that delays the rumbling by like maybe 20 seconds. Like, yes, it was the make or break, but she's not delaying the rumbling by an hour. And so the rumbling is just moving notoriously slow there, and the rumbling speed is massively inconsistent based on this. Like, I don't know why they said an hour instead of 5 minutes or whatever they would have said. Like, that would have made the rumbling feel scarier at least. Like, if the rumbling's moving at a snail's pace, I'll just outwalk it at that point.
well, yeah, it's, you know, you could just ride Ervin's horse and you're gonna beat it, apparently.
Like, it's not moving at the speed of a galloping horse. It's not taking a horse an hour to cross the city. Again, I don't care if Hanji's slowing it down. She's not slowing it down that much. Like the Titans fall down, and it takes them like 5 seconds to stand back up on screen and keep walking.
Yeah.
God. Like the Titans behind it, because they're moving in waves or whatever. They're like not far behind, so if she kills the one in front, the one behind it's just gonna replace it within like 5-10 seconds of walking, like 2 or 3 steps.
I still can't seem to find the
Really. I mean, it is
thing about
definitely there. So.
I know, like I swear it is, but like.
Okay, well, I don't know where.
Okay,
It is,
so I'm in the C place. I'm just gonna keep fast forwarding till they say something that might be related.
I'll look if I can see it on Google. Look for something here. Aaron says Hanji died. What? Hanji's that scene? But yeah, I got it right here.
What?
It's in the blood part. Here, I'll send this to you in DMs.
Okay, this is where I'm at right now. Okay, I'm a slave to freedom. When does he say it?
But Sasha and Hanji died because of me. Let's see, what else have we not covered that I wanted to cover right now?
Well, there's some of those recent ones. I mean, I don't know if you want to save those for Camcam. Some of those ones we were talking about in chat.
Yeah, those weren't the Camcam ones. I think we talked about everything that I talked about with Camcam. But Camcam wasn't having it. He's like, yeah, I follow the story, and they just don't explain that in stories, so I don't care. What do you mean?
Well, that's where I get. So, I understand Camcam likes Attack on Titan, which I do, obviously. But, like,
this is not a problem.
Hypothetically, would she say these for Boruto, or would she complain with us? Because, like,
I feel like she would say the
this
same
is
thing.
obviously.
I feel like I don't want to use the word black and white, but it's like she has like no compromise for like certain ideas that she's already made her mind up, like this concept. Like we're not going to convince her or change her mind on anything in regards to something like this.
But at the same time, I feel like she can and will get, like, she would critique Boruto, for example. That's why she dropped it in the first place. She could critique it. She would explain things she doesn't like, and you could just use the argument. We'll discover.
Oh, that was me. Okay, well, maybe Kamui's phone died. So that might be the end of the podcast anyways. It's 3 a.m. We've been doing way longer than I needed to, so... okay, hang on for a second, but thanks everyone for watching, and we failed. Okay, then we catch up to the Attack on Titan parts, it looks like. Yeah. And you're coming on your debate with MVP, that's hilarious. Can't fathom dropping something, probably the trauma from watching anime and TV shows out of order and losing my mind over it. Though the pain of dropping and picking up a series, every chapter release is pain. Boruto is the neighbor's cat who yells and bullies other cats who you decide to feed, and now you have it in your house and stole it. And every time you return it, it just comes back. That's hilarious, the coming back part, yeah. No, I think that's a pretty good analogy. Okay, I read those. There's a lot of comments here, but we're really cutting through them like butter.
I will say real quick.
That might be the last one.
I can't even call the Jonathan Oliver thing a debate, like, because
I know.
We didn't get anywhere. Like, if you read it, it's. I just wanted him to answer yes or no to 2 questions, basically. I know it was, of course, 10 hours. Of course, I wasn't answering for all of this. It took forever to get those answers, and then he was throwing a fit over me. The whole point was, I asked him whether Otsutsuki were a ninja, and then I wanted clarification on what his reasoning was. I just wanted to say, is this what your reasoning is? that took 10 hours to do. But
10
didn't really
hours
matter.
is insane.
Like he kept saying, I was like, bro, it's like, he's like, you keep cheating. I was like, no, this is, it's like, I asked you this 10 hours ago. But like, and he just kept saying, like, recom. I was like, no, just answer the question. And then like he got so mad at me because he's like, hey, why are you changing the subject? He's like, just say you lost the Otsutsuki debate. I was like, Jonathan, we didn't debate whether Otsutsuki were ninja or not. I never even gave a stance. I just asked you what your answer was so that I could go back to the Gato stubs. And he just is not.
Oh my God.
You let me know if you're on his side on this. But like, I kept I also asked him things a billion times. He just didn't answer. Like the whole point, it didn't matter what his answer was because no matter what, the point was just to point out his Gato thugs thing makes no sense.
Yeah.
But like, and then like I was just trying to start that point, and I repeated it like 4 times. He never responded to that part. He just kept going. Then you're changing the subject. Just say you lost a Suzuki debate. You know how he does the thing where he just doesn't address the point.
Yeah.
And so, needless to say, I think I wasted my entire day because I don't think I'm ever going to get him to just. I was like, I don't even think you can see the flaw in your arguments.
Yeah,
Like,
I pulled it up at one point in the middle of the conversation. So I think he was saying his answer is yes. Otsutsukis are ninja. Is that correct? That's his stance?
Yes. Well, part of the problem was he kept saying like I've already answered.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah, I completely agree. I saw that.
Problem was
I saw
there's
exactly
two problems. One is the first one was like I understand language barrier, but the way he does things sometimes I'm like I can't tell because he was doing it at one point where he was like quoting me asking. I'm like, are you quoting me or are you answering my question? I don't know. Because you're not just doing what I said, which is say yes.
Yes or no, yeah.
Or not. You're adding in all these extra things that make it because you're doing it in such a non-Englishy way that I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Oh my God.
I keep asking. And then later, once we got past that, he kept saying, I already answered your question. This is why it took 10 hours. He kept answering Aratsuki or Ninja when I was asking him, is your reasoning blank? So I was on question number 2. He kept answering question number 1.
Yeah, it's like, I already answered that.
He's like, I already answered that. I'm like, I know. I'm asking you a different question. And then he was getting mad. He was like, why do you want my reasoning? I answered your question. Get to the point. I'm like, I need your reasoning to get to the point.
Oh my God.
Stop. And then when I got to when we go back to got those thugs, he's like, I asked you to get to the point. You're not getting to the point. You're just changing substance. I'm like, oh my God, this is so going over your head. To the most extreme. It's so frustrating. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's like, I want you to read it and tell me if I'm just wrong and I'm crazy. But I was like, man, like.
I mean, from the 1% of it that I glanced at, it sounds exactly how you're describing it.
I was like, even Space seemed like he was confused. I was like, how are you guys confused? I broke it down, and of course, I literally tagged him in the thing of me just breaking it down for Space. And of course, he doesn't address it.
Oh my God. So, okay. I don't know if this is where you're going with it. I think I might have mentioned this offhandedly when we, like, went over this for, like, half a minute last night when we were doing this. So was either way, whichever way he was going to answer, was part of your reasoning, explanation, logic, comeback, retort, response, whatever it is, was it going to have anything to do with Kinshiki using weapons?
If he said Otsutsuki weren't ninja, then yes.
Okay.
Because I was going to say Otsutsuki can use katanas.
That's what I was hoping
if he
for.
said it, and if he said Otsutsuki are ninja, I wanted to know why. And he mentioned at what in his initial response, this is the one I want to clarify from him. Like, is this your argument? He said something along the lines of, you're not gonna fight. You're not gonna send civilians or thugs to fight Otsutsuki. You need ninja, so they're ninja basically. Is what I was like. Is this your argument? Because then, once I finally got clarification that that appears to be the case, I was like, okay, so you're saying you wouldn't send thugs to deal with Otsutsuki, but instead you would send ninja to deal with Otsutsuki because Otsutsuki are ninja and they can do what ninja can do. But I thought thugs were supposed to be ninja. So why can't you send thugs after them? I was like, you should have no problem sending Gato's thugs after ninja. Also, you realize that the thugs absolutely cannot do everything ninja can do, like you say Otsutsuki can. So why are the thugs ninja? So the point, which he's not gonna ever understand, is that it doesn't make sense to say Otsutsuki are ninja. It doesn't make sense to say Gato's thugs are ninja, no matter what you say about Otsutsuki, based off his own arguments about the thugs. Like it doesn't.
It was
like,
just pointing out a
literally
blatant
doesn't matter.
contradiction.
Exactly. I was like, it doesn't matter what you picked for the Otsutsuki, because I'm just going to use a previous argument you said and point out it doesn't make sense.
By the way, his reasoning is the most nonsensical, worst roundabout reasoning I've ever heard. The reason the Otsutsuki are ninja are because you wouldn't send thugs after the Otsutsuki, you'd send ninja after them. Like, that's
And
not even
they
a
can do
full reasoning. You have to fill in the gaps to make it even possible. What he has to be getting at that he didn't say, that he needed to say, is that you wouldn't send thugs after ninja, you would only send ninja after ninja. But again, that goes back to your Gato thugs point that that's exactly what Gato did.
And then the other thing I never got to, which I don't think I'm ever going to get to at this point, is that I was going to ask him, when and why did Naruto or any other ninja become a ninja? And obviously he passed the test in a roundabout way, but like the point is you pass the graduation exam, and you get a ninja headband. And I was gonna point out how you do realize that like those men didn't in the Otsutsuki didn't do the graduation exam, and they don't have headbands. You're not ninja.
Yeah.
I mean, gone to that part of the argument. Oh, that's right, because you mentioned Hanzo, and I was like, I'm glad you mentioned it. You know what my segment was gonna be? Hanzo wears a headband. What do the thugs not wear? Headbands.
Okay, Kamui, you might get mad if I do this, so I'm gonna ask for your permission to do this. Would you be mad if I sent him the Hanzo videos?
Well, the what thing? Like the video or
The Is Hanzo a Ninja video that we did. Because that'll be giving him the arguments. But
well. So here's the thing, I'm not sure.
yeah.
What is he gonna think? Because I mean he's gonna be perplexed because like if Hanzo's not a ninja, he's gonna hate your argument for sure because like he's gonna really hate your point because the question is, does he have the ninja registry number or whatever?
Yeah.
And he's gonna say, well, that doesn't matter. But he's definitely not gonna like your side. I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and say. I wonder what he would think.
Yeah, he's gonna watch the video and think that you can't read, but that I'm just dumb. Oh my god.
It's so insane. Oh yeah, he was like, attention everyone. If Kamui talks to you, he'll just change the subject you just keep changing the subject. He kept saying keep changing. I was like, bro, if you want to count it, I changed it once. I asked you, are Suzuki Ninja, why, and went back to the thugs. I was like, I know it's been like a day because we stopped talking overnight and whatnot, but like, that's once. It's not keep changing. It happened once.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said only once, because I was gonna say, regardless of the thugs, if you were saying changing the subject was getting his yes or no, and then changing the subject would be asking why, I was gonna say that's not changing the subject, that's changing the topic, if anything, at most. It's the same subject though. It's a sub point.
It was really meant to just be an aside.
It's continuation.
You know, screw it. You're still live anyway. Let's just go look at it right now.
Oh my god. I don't even want to. Oh yeah, I see it right here. I can talk with the gato, but you gotta change subject, I'm sure again. LOL. Oh my god.
I'm gonna find the start of all this. Okay. Here, I'll share my screen. Oh no, I can't. On.
Nope.
I can't on the browser.
Do we want to do this right now, Kamui, at 3:36 a.m.?
That's up to you.
Well, Kamui, I'm just letting you know, if it's up to me, we don't want to do it at 3:36 a.m.
Here, I'll let you read it on your own. I'll just tag you. You'll have to skip around to when I'm like there.
Okay, that's fine.
That's like the well, it's not technically the earliest, but it's me asking him it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
That works. I will read that and get back to you, and we'll figure it out from there. But yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody. I'm ending stream now.
we failed.
Yeah. Like how we've said it 3 times now.
I know. We really failed.